What's up everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 Central. Today we're looking at the top 10 best homemade roller coasters. Now we've done Waterslides before, and you guys love that video, so I thought you guys would like to see roller coasters too. Honestly, these videos are so fun to make, so if you guys want to see more, I'd like to make them. Let's try to break 5,000 likes on this video, and if we can get that, I'll do the funniest Waterslide fails sometime next week. Anyways, with that said, let's get right into the video. Number 10. You would think that after 30 years of doing something for a job, the last thing you would want to do is carry on when you retire. But when John Ivers stopped working at his factory in Indiana, he decided to apply his skills in a whole new way. A few years later, he had the Blue Flash roller coaster along with the smaller Blue 2 he made for his grandkids. The ride is built onto the side of his shed and even includes a full loop, but the coolest thing is how he tested it. When he first tried the loop, the track wasn't even finished, so he and his family took turns launching themselves into the grass. I gotta say, this guy definitely has material for Grandpa of the Year award.
John put his 3 decades of factory welding experience to good use, working for a year and a half on the coaster compound. Not only does it travel up the side of his shed, it features a full loop and Blue 2, a separate smaller coaster for his grandkids. John says they were the reason he decided to build the coaster.
If they can ride either one.
The ride might be grandkids safe now, but John put a considerable amount of faith in his creation on its maiden voyage. In fact, he tested the loop when the track led to nothing but grass.
The first time I was pretty nervous. I tested the loop first with a couple of sandbags, but that didn't work really well, so I put myself in it. I didn't know whether it was actually going to make the loop or not.
Number 9. The setting for this roller coaster looks pretty relaxing, but the ride itself is pretty crazy. The caution zone might only be a backyard ride, but it's a fully functioning circuit coaster, meaning you could stay on it forever without stopping if you really wanted to. It doesn't have any loops, but it's got some pretty insane drops, and from the reactions of the kids who tested it, the ride seems to reach some pretty fast speeds too. It just goes to show you can't judge a ride by its appearances, because it's nowhere near as awesome as it looks. Number 8. The owner of this roller coaster has been making rides for over 40 years, so it's not surprising that it's one of the most impressive on the list. Not only can it hold 6 people at a time, but they have to be securely caged in, which is a pretty good indication that it's an intense experience. It's basically just a track that's curved upwards on each side, so riders can rocket from one end to the other, with the momentum keeping them going for ages at a pretty crazy speed. This one might leave you feeling ready to throw up, but it looks like it'll be worth it 100%. Number 7. Okay, so this ride is nowhere near as intense as some we featured, but it looks like one the kids would really enjoy, as well as being gorgeously designed. It might just be a basic circular track, but it's hard to deny the work that went into it, especially since it's pretty much entirely wooden. It has some pretty cool drops in the beginning, and it looks like it might work as a fully functioning circuit. So I mean, even if it's not the scariest ride on the list, it's definitely one of the most professional. Number 6. As you probably already know, backyard roller coasters are pretty impressive by themselves, but they get even cooler when they're made by someone younger. This 28-meter ride was made by the engineering student David Chesney before he started university, basically using mostly scrap wood that he had just laying around. Even more impressively, he started with just an old treadmill and some skateboard wheels, which evolved eventually into a new coaster he calls the Minotaur. The ride can now reach speeds of up to 20 kilometers an hour and even has a computer hidden in the garage that controls the mechanics. I mean, even for an engineering student, I have to admit, that's a pretty insane summer project.
The cart's made out of entirely steel, as well as some casters for the wheels. The seat I was able to get off Kijiji. It's just an old plastic type racing seat. And the seatbelt's also a racing seatbelt. The coaster itself is about 92 feet long, and it can hit up speeds up to 20 kilometers an hour. 3 2, 1. In total, there's about 1,100 feet of wire also that runs the coaster. And there's a computer in that shed that controls everything. It's the brains of the coaster. And so when I hit the go button on the control board, the computer knows exactly where the car is at all times and reacts.
Number 5. Some of these rides have been pretty laid back, but this one is on a whole new level. If the 12-foot drop wasn't enough to frighten you, this tiny looking cart it uses and the wicked looking turn just might be. I'm pretty sure this one is meant just for kids, but even for an adult, a drop that steep is no joke, especially if that tiny seatbelt is the only thing that's stopping you from falling out of the ride completely. Let me know down in the comments below, would you try it? I think I definitely would. Number 4. Will Pemble, or the Coaster Dad as he likes to be known, has already claimed one spot on this list. But his creations are so good we had to give him another one. This Crossbow Coaster was created by him and a friend for his friend's house, and it features all the best bits of good theme park rides. There are huge drops and insanely tight corners, and to top it off, the cart is pretty much just a seat on a platform. However, the coolest thing about this is that they used the kid as a test rider, and the kid wasn't even fazed by it. Number 3. You might think you need a lot of space to build a roller coaster in your backyard, but this next ride proves that wrong. It may not be the most spread out, but it makes up for in terms of excitement as it circles in and around itself and works in some truly sickening drops. Out of all the roller coasters on this list, even just watching this one made me dizzy, and the steep climb at the beginning was terrifying too. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter what you're working with. If you try your hardest, you can still make something that'll make you feel queasy just looking at it. Number 2. Okay, so this roller coaster isn't quite finished yet, but it was so cool I just couldn't miss it on the list. Everything from the cart to the tracks is pastel pink and blue. The cart even has a pink cushion as a finishing touch. Even cooler though is the fact that it's been built into a playhouse. As you can see, there's a little slide peeking out of the tower the ride starts on. I can only imagine whatever kid this coaster is made for can't get enough of it, even if the wobbly tracks could convince a grown man to hold on tight. Number 1. Out of all the homemade roller coasters we've looked at, this one is a clear winner, as it includes pretty much every cool thing you would want from a ride in your backyard. It might be short but has some pretty exciting twists and turns, yet it still manages to be calm enough for even the really small kids to enjoy. Most of all though, with its vintage car design and built-in playhouse, it just looks really cool and it's something I'm pretty sure any kid in the world would be lucky to have. There's our video on the top 10 best homemade roller coasters. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe so you see whenever we upload a video. Also, if you have your own top 5 or top 10 idea, feel free to use our extremely handy form in the description to submit it. With that said, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.